What's going on, man? I'm here with Charlie Randolph, owner, operator of Homeland K9 International. Welcome to Dog Days Podcast, bro. How you been?
Good, man. Good. One day at a time, just trying to, build it up and do our thing.
So yeah, man. Listen, as we get here, I'm just going to ask you a few questions. Let these people get to know you and like who you are, how you got into dogs, you know what I'm saying. So,
Okay.
First question: how long have you been training?
I started in 1992. So
I was legit then. Little. I was talking about little.
Yeah.
I'm about 10 years old. 92. Yeah. Yeah. So you've been training for a while. So where did you get your start?
So I actually joined the Marine Corps as a early enlistment.
Mm-hmm.
So I signed up at 16, and there was only a few jobs that they would let me take. Right?
Uh-huh.
So basically, what I was doing was I was working basically weekends, going down to Beaufort, South Carolina, Paris Island, and they was letting me, work at the dog kennel. So we started right there, and it's been that way since.
Yeah. So was that your first training experience with the Marines, or like as a kid, did you have like this passion? You was doing little stuff and didn't know what you was doing, but you was still trying to mess around. You know how.
So, my pops always had hunting dogs. We had beagles and rabbit dogs and things like that.
Yeah.
But I was always interested into dogs in some level, but of course not at that level. You know what I mean?
Right.
But my first trip down to Beaufort, went down to the kennel. They had the agility equipment and the dogs. And it was the first time I got to work a Malinois in 1989, 1990. And I was like, man, that's a skinny German Shepherd.
Right. When I first started training, I started training in like 05, 06. I mean, I've been into dogs my whole life, but as far as the bite work is concerned, 05, 06 is when I started getting into it, and I had no clue that these dogs was as good as they were. Like I was never hands on with them. So when I was in the army, I joined the army in 2000 and stayed until 05. That's pretty much all they had. I think they had like 2 shepherds, and the rest of them was either mouths or now-knowing sauce Malinois mixes. Because they had a couple look like tri-color pit bulls, but real cheeky type. But they had a shepherd feel to them.
So for us, like it was, a thing of course they were, the shepherd was having big problems with hip dysplasia and that. So that was driving their wanting to change to something else. Not necessarily at that point, the shepherd not being driving or nothing like that, but it was a health thing for them. But then of course it turned into, years later that, you got a little bit more drive out of the Malinois and more longevity out of it.
So what was your like MOS?
So MOS was we started as like MP, but I never got to do those jobs. Right, I've been in a kennel since day one. So it was again they wouldn't let me have the full rights of MP because I wasn't 18.
Okay.
So it's only like at that time there was only certain jobs you could take. So it was either wait or, hey, you can take this job. And I was like, I like dogs and let me see where it goes. And again, I didn't know anything about working dogs at that level. You know what I'm saying?
So when did you get out? When did you get out of the military?
So I did 8 years. So I got out early in like 99. 99.
Okay. Still, I was about to graduate high school in 99.
Yeah. So it didn't take me long to figure out, I can make more money in civilian than I can.
So immediately when you got out in 99, you started.
I started before I even got out. Like I was hustling on the side. You know what I mean?
Pet dogs?
Not pet dogs, but we was working in protection dogs.
Okay.
And at that time it was super like popular.
Right.
For people on the base, and that's what
to have
wanted.
protection. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an in thing, you know.
Right.
So, you're talking 93, 94, 95. We making, you know, training 10, 15 dogs every Saturday and Sunday, which is, when you had a full time military job, that wasn't a bad thing.
Not at all.
So it didn't take long to figure out, re-enlist or just get out and try
Do
to
your own thing.
right.
Man, listen, so most of the people know I was in the vet tech. I was a vet tech from 2000 to pretty much present. I just started, doing my own thing for real, like 2.5 years ago. But I've been into dog training on the bite work aspect, working dogs, since like 05, 06, like I said. But I forgot what the hell I was saying. What was the hell I was talking about?
You're talking about your longevity, like when you started it, and you know, to me, again, you're talking about how far you're gonna go with the dogs.
Oh yeah, I know what I'm saying. The part about being an entrepreneur, learning. Like I learned quick that the pet dogs and doing pet obedience and first protection and just private stuff, doing your own thing can really be lucrative. And just talk about that process for me, how you started your own business and how good it was to you versus being employed by someone.
Right. So for me, I had kids real young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I had all my kids when I was in the Marine Corps. So I was afraid to like take business risks. You know what I mean? So everything I did was, make this money, and I would put a little bit back of it into the business, but not as much as like taking out a loan for the business, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's taken me longer than a lot of people, but that's just the way I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you didn't dump all your savings into it all at once and just dive head for.
Yeah, because in my opinion, my kids came first, right? It was my job to not just take care of them, but protect them. So
Right.
and that's financial protection too.
Right.
So I didn't ever. Yeah, could I have maybe done it differently and been a lot more further along than I am today? Yeah, probably. But I also could have did something and messed it up and hurt my kids.
Right.
So yeah, it took a little bit longer for me, and I'm just comfortable in the way I do. I like to have flexibility. I don't have a lot of overhead, the way I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I just like the way I do it.
Yeah, almost none overhead, really. So like if you think about like just if I'm thinking about just the way I operate, I don't have any employees. You know what I'm saying? I don't have business hours where I'm open this amount of time, closed this amount of time. That's locking me in to. This is probably the most free that I've ever been. Just thinking about leaving the job. You know what I'm saying? It got to one point, bro, that I have clients. I'm getting paid more on a side gig than I am at my job. Then I'm requesting to be off to the thing that's paying me more money. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get it.
Like, just think about this. We did a couple of seminars in California with the police department in Cali, and I'm requesting off to do that. You know how lucrative that is just to go out there for a weekend, 5 days or whatever, and then I'm asking off a vet tech job to, you know what I'm saying?
I get it.
To do that, and so people, you know what I'm saying? You sometimes, I know you took your time, but there was still some risk. It's still, no risk, no reward type of thing.
Right. I definitely don't want to say it was an easy ride, but it was just for me. The pressure of trying to build a business, be a father, be a husband, and all that comes with that. I mean, pressure don't do but two things: make diamonds or bust pipes.
Correct.
So I tried to do it in a way that, yeah, it probably career-wise was a slower route, but it was a safer route. And then, like I said, to me, My kids was everything.
Would you have done anything differently the way versus the way you did?
I don't really think so, to be honest, because again, you got to think about it. Like I said, I had all my kids back to back to back, super close.
Right.
So you're talking about at any one given time, I got 3 kids in college.
Mm-hmm.
One graduates, I got another 3 in college.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So to me, if I didn't have to take risks to keep going and stay afloat, why do it? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I waited to them when they got settled and got out of school and started to have their own thing. Then I started making more moves. You know what I mean? So
because I would say in the protection world, or the world of what we do, you're pretty known. You know what I'm saying? You're pretty out there, and there's people out there with less knowledge, less skill, and they're doing this, at a bigger scale. And would you want to upscale, or do you like the way you have it now?
I like the way I have it. But okay, so here's one thing I learned a long time ago. There's a lot of people that can train, right? And there's a lot of people that can run a business,
right?
But it's not a lot that can do both.
Correct.
So that's really the deal. You see what I'm saying? Is to me is can you learn to be efficient at both? Right. So there's things that opportunities that dogs have afforded me to this point that's gonna grow our next business. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I don't get those opportunities if it wasn't for dogs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, I kind of used dogs to create a bunch of avenues of income. You got what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So like, some people just lock into, I'm a trainer. You know what I'm saying? So since I didn't want to totally get rid of my background. My background is, being a vet tech. Why would I just let 20 years of that experience go?
Exactly.
So now, I branched off and started doing like the repro stuff. Progesterone test, AI, semen analysis. I started doing all that. I do that on the side.
But that's just good business,
and just
multiple streams.
Right. Let that have me a house, rent me a house out. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm trying to really hop on this Airbnb thing. That's probably my next stage, because it's all about being able to take care of your family and still at the same time having flexibility, making money while you're sleeping. Yes. Probably it.
Passive income, baby. That's what it's about. And my thing is, so I've taken like a background and we created a whole nother business in TCI.
Right. So what is TCI?
It's Total Canine Institute, right? It's where we're gonna take training and education and bridge that together, right? And it's not just dogs. You're talking about hand-to-hand combat. You're talking about invasive driving. You're talking about close quarter protection, the whole lot, right? And it's all generated off things that we already do from our military backgrounds.
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, maybe if without the dogs, I don't get those opportunities to make those face-to-face connections, and then we don't have this opportunity, right? But to me, so like your business is you drive your business, right? Yeah, you could go out and hire employees, right? Mm-hmm. But your clients don't come because of your business; they come because of you.
That's correct,
right? So you can't, there's only one Josh. Right. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, you ain't gonna be able to catch a dog,
right?
Physically, right? You're not gonna be able to. Right. So, what's the growth for your next step in your business? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You can't do this forever. Right. So before your body starts to fail, in my mind, I want to
set yourself up.
Right. This chess, not checkers. Yeah. You got to be 3 or 4 steps ahead.
Right. Hey. That's why right now at this moment I kind of enjoy teaching other people the craft. You know what I'm saying? Having apprenticeship. People helping me out in exchange for the knowledge. You got what I'm saying?
For sure. I tell people all the time, I don't consider myself a trainer. I'm a teacher,
Right.
right? So, because if you, in my opinion, if you box yourself into I'm a trainer, okay, well that's great, but aren't you more than that? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
You got to be, because this is my favorite thing to say. Don't steal this. I'm putting this on a t-shirt. You can't teach what you don't know.
For sure.
Right. So I feel like the same way. Like I feel like I take in what I learned. I take in all the years, 20 years experience or whatever, and I try to pour that into other people. And I
Yeah.
see, when you see people on the way they're trained, like even if you go to a boxing gym, if you go to a wrestling gym, if you go to the MMA gym, a certain dog club, when you see a certain style of whatever that craft is, you like they put their stamp on that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Like when I look at the people at what's it, Jonathan Catch Club, they're all have the same style and it look right,
Right.
right?
Right.
When you see our dogs, people gonna be able to say that's a brag dog. That dog come
Right.
from
Right.
blah blah blah. When you see people rev like in MMA, you know Uriah Faber.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Uriah Faber got a team alpha male. When his gym was like popping, well it still is. But when all the stars was there, you knew that they had that wrestling background. They
Right.
stamped that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. So I feel like pouring into people and then giving them what you got and then you seeing it, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, expand through the system,
Yeah.
you know you
For
kind of
sure.
doing the right thing.
And it's again, like we say, people come to you because you're the brand. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're the brand of your franchise. But a lot of people don't know, like, we do so many other things that don't get Facebook or Instagram
Right.
notoriety. You know what I'm
People
saying?
don't
But
yeah.
but that really is as much a factor in finances is the things you get to see.
Right.
Because everything isn't Instagram or Facebook, worthy,
Worthy.
right? And
Yeah.
it's tradecraft too. So you can't, you know what I'm saying? You've worked hard to build something a certain way, and you only want your clients that pay for that, service to be able to have
Exclusiveness,
it. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, like it's at a time in the world where you can be like I only post stuff on Instagram that's gonna I feel like it's gonna excite people,
Right. Again.
right? And this is why Facebook, Instagram, whatever they give you, well, especially when you have like a business page, they give you the insights to see what type of stuff your audience likes. Do
Right.
they like your pictures? Do they like when you do bite work? Do you like when you do obedience? Do they
Right.
like slow motion with slow music? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's an art to that too, marketing yourself
For
and
sure.
all
For
the
sure.
stuff and getting out. Because there's a lot of people like I just talked to Mo. Same. I feel like that dude got a lot of talent
Yeah.
and he can get a lot of places, but there's no marketing engine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Behind him, like and it's people that are way more talented than me, and they got 200-300 followers on Instagram or
Right.
whatever, and it's nobody knows
But
them or their business. But at the same time, that does if you have 20,000 followers and it doesn't make you any money, it's worthless.
right. So and it's not just that. If it pulls you from being who you are as a person,
Right.
to me, it ain't work.
It's not the most genuine thing that you can do is be yourself.
Yeah.
Be yourself, and in that, the success comes. And be passionate about
Yeah.
whatever you're doing. So, like, if I train dogs, I'm passionate. My wife always tells me that I'm obsessive with stuff. Like, if I
No, I get it.
if I get into hunting,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch
You all
hunting
in.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the guns. I'm gonna be outside practicing shooting. I'm gonna be getting my bow practicing. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a whole lot of obsession over that one thing until I learn. Like I'm in jiu-jitsu right now. If I had the time, I would be there every day.
Right.
If I wasn't 40 years old and my knee was hurting, I would be there every day. Like I gotta take some recovery time now. But
Yeah.
you have to be passionate about something. You feel what I'm saying?
And see, for me, I don't have that time. So what I do is, I got the HK9 brand, we got the TCI brand. So I'm like, if I'm not working one, I'm trying to build the other. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like no really days off like that, because I know at some point I am not going to be able to do this the way I'm doing it, right? So I'm working really, really hard right now to try to prepare for the next step in our life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. definitely. I feel like I'm behind the 8 ball a little bit, but at the same time, traction moving. The only reason I started getting I was getting into shitting. I'm starting to do that.
Yep.
Do PSA. It's a lot of bits and little nuggets that I take from these people and put it to my own bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm trying to. The only reason I compete is because I feel like there was a stigma, and I'm trying to get that off. You know what I'm saying? The stigma, how we came up of we don't do no obedience. Oh, we can't do that. I feel like I can make a dog do anything. I just need to see it, get the system, know how the dog's thinking, blah, 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 and then I can make him do whatever I want him to do if the dog possesses the drives. You know what I'm saying? To do that.
Right. So for me, I just stay in my lane, right? And I just try to get better each day in my lane, right? It has nothing to do with, I'm cool with people who want to learn all these other things and be creative. That's cool. My other thing is TCI. You see what I'm saying? We're talking about, we in the middle of getting our license for armed security. You know what I mean? Not just here in the States, but international. Right? Those are the type of things that we're gonna have to evolve into at some point. And it's still all core business from the things we learned in the Marine Corps, the things we've learned with working with military canine, LE, So it's all branched off of that. So we're not far away from the center and the core, but that's it. You know what I mean? That's
even though I do 20 things, bro, it's still dogs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, bro, I just want to be able to provide for my family, still be free, and I'm also learning that time is more important than money. You know what I'm saying? You cannot get back time. You can lose every penny that you have and get more.
For sure.
You cannot get back time.
Listen, I try to tell my kids that. We got 6 kids and 7 grandkids. You see what I'm saying? And we're trying to listen. I gotta, the Bible says a good man leaves inheritance to his children's children. Well, I can't do that if I don't have a plan. You know what I mean? I have to have a plan, and I have to try everything I got to put that plan into action.
So all right. So speak about I see on your Facebook stuff and all that you'll put out hey, I'm booking for 2022 or these months to this month. If you want to book me, I'm open for this. How much of that time, it takes a lot to be on the road and gone and this and that. How much of that do you are you cool with sacrificing to build this inheritance that you're speaking of?
Well, so that's the thing. In my mind, I'm doing it full force until I can't do it no more. Because I know it's going to be a point where I can't. Right? So, but I'm not just going to try and, book a seminar in Cali and go and, take care of my clients. Yes, that's number one. But number two is face-to-face, shaking people's hands. You know what I mean? Sometimes you making life, right? But you networking, but you making lifelong friends and somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And to me, nobody can do everything by themselves. You just can't.
Right.
You're gonna need help at some point.
And those things are very important. Like when you speak on networking, you talking about favor. To me, is better than anything. As far as, especially when you're in business, you have favor with people. They put you in things. There's plenty of people that I know that should be in the league playing football. You know what I'm saying? Playing basketball. But there's favor. I know this. My cousin this. My sister husband worked for the GM at such and such. You feel me?
Right.
And then you kind of climb that ladder. There's my brother-in-law. He was trying to get a job in the military, and then I knew some people because I was already in. And they met with this person, that person. And then it just set up a chain, and then it's not, you kind of how you did that? How you get that position? How woo? Because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And sometimes there's people with degrees and all of these accolades, but if nobody never gives me a chance or opportunity to fulfill that, then you never get to express your talent or your skill or your knowledge to that.
To me, the way I look at it is every time. I go, especially if I go somewhere I've never been, right? It's like an interview. You know what I mean? I'm trying to not just for those that 2 or 3 days I'm there or whatever. I'm trying to make an absolute lasting impression on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So for weeks and weeks and weeks after that, they still have that glow about them, of that 2 or 3 days. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not just train. Listen, you can train the dog and you can do all that, but you have to empower the people at some point, right? Because you're gonna go home.
Yes. This is why I try to tell people all the time. The dog can't pay you.
Right.
The dog can't pay you. So you have to make more of an impression on the
Yes.
humans than the dog.
Again, that's what I'm saying. So I'm trying to. That's why I said I don't consider myself a trainer. I'm a teacher, right? So some of the most successful people in life had really good teachers at some point in their life. You know what I mean? And they, even after they were gone with that particular school or whatever, they would find themselves still connected to that teacher. If something comes up in their life and they want to talk to somebody about it, they reach out to the teacher.
Right.
Even if that teacher it's not in their area of expertise, they still feel comfortable enough about things and talking to them.
Let me get your point on that.
Right. You know what I mean? They want to bounce it off you.
Right.
Right. So to me, that's what I'm trying to do. Not just for those 2 or 3 days that I'm with them, but I'm trying to leave a positive, lasting impression and trying to empower them that, you know what I'm saying, you don't need me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You do it yourself.
Right.
Yes, right.
It's train the trainer. I'm going to train you how to train your dog.
Right. I like that. I like that too. A lot of people talk about return customers, but the people who I do that with, even they become good, and I feel like they can train dogs. Like even if the people in the club, I'm like, you can be a trainer, you good. But those people still keep coming back to you.
Right. They come back to you because you're a teacher, right? And they feel comfortably connected to you, right? So even if they branch out a little bit on their own and try to do some things, they're still gonna come back to you, right? So that's continuing education at that point, right?
Right.
Yeah, I know enough that I can, effectively and efficiently, take on a client or whatever.
Right.
But maybe if I get a problem client, I don't know how to do that. But I know my teacher does. You know what I mean? So they don't never want, in my opinion, they don't never really want to disconnect. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want to stay connected to you, and they're willing to pay the price that it costs to stay connected to you.
Right.
You know?
For sure.
Education isn't free.
It's not. Some people think it is, though.
It's not. Right? On no level. Public school is not free.
Yeah.
Don't think it is. You know what I mean? Your kids go to school, but you're paying. You're paying in taxes. You're paying
Some kind of way. Is this going around?
Right. You're paying in, your little girl, they want you to bring cupcakes. And it's payment. You know what I'm saying? In some form, you know what I mean? It's payment.
In all ways. Nothing ain't free.
Nothing. And it's like the faster the younger generation understand that. And you know what I mean? It is what it is. Stop trying to get everything free. Earn it, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
In the core, like I said, man, it was a long time for they let me touch it dog. Like you clean kennels, you couldn't even feed them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You wash down the school check. That's what you do. Right? And then it was finally, you graduated to you can feed them.
Right.
Don't look at my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
you had to work your way up. Let's switch it up for a second.
Okay.
So, speaking about back in the day experience and all the things that you've done and stuff like that. Back then, when you first started working dogs, the caliber of dogs that there were, do you feel like that has diminished? People have gone away from those style of dogs, or do you think it's still out there, or what?
I think that there's some still out there, but honestly, like the dogs were a lot harder. They just were
Genetically.
Yes.
Okay.
Right? But what happened is, in my opinion, the more that everybody wanted to be part of this thing,
right,
this dog thing, well, some people were weekend warriors, some people were just recreational. Oh, I like dogs, and they want to get a dog, but they don't really want to do the things it requires to have that kind of dog.
Right.
So, supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, what do? Do people just hold firm and not sell to those type of people, or do they water the product down just a little bit to make ends meet? And to me, that's what happened.
Right.
You know, anytime you have an exclusive club, you can control things. As soon as you get out of that exclusivity, you don't have the control of it, right? So
Right.
everybody wanted to be involved, and that's a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. You know, and to
Right.
me, that's just. I mean, I can go breed by breed and just
Yeah.
and this is not me, seeing videos of dogs. I'm talking about this is me out there working them hand on hand. I can tell the difference in some of the dogs between 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and 5 years ago.
Right. I feel like people are getting to a point right now where they just see two dogs from a working line
Yeah,
and they just breed it together, hoping for what they have or better, just twisting their fingers, right?
right.
And I always said that 1 plus 1 is 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's a I'm not gonna put uh lower my percentages. But if I'm making A's in all my classes, I don't want to
yeah, I
throw
get it.
that C in there and drop my average. Like you're decreasing your chances of the genetic pool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get
Putting
it.
stuff in there like you're like, oh, okay, I got this female and she got nerve issues, and then I got a male. He's a good dog and drive, but he got the same out of drive nerve issues. Like, what are you doing?
Right,
You know
no,
what I'm
I get
saying?
it. I get it.
And
That's
then
how.
we making these nerve bags, and I have never seen so many dogs, especially in the law enforcement arena, that should not be nothing but pets. You know what I'm saying? It should
Yeah,
be nothing more than
no, I get it.
something I play fetch with. You know what I'm saying?
I get
Something
it.
that my kids enjoy. But as far as cutting out to do either high level sport or man work, because to be honest with you, since I'm engulfed in doing sport now, there's not much difference in the training. You got what I'm saying? There's
Yeah,
not
for sure.
much difference. You can still like we were talking about earlier, have a Schützen dog that'll bite somebody for real. You can still have a PSA dog that'll bite somebody for real.
Back in the day,
It's
that's where
just the
most of our control
way,
dogs came from.
right? It's just the way that you apply what the dog has learned, right? And so like, if I don't want my dog to bite the sleeve, I'm never gonna give him one.
Right, for
Like,
sure.
there's a method to never giving the dog ever in life giving the sleeve. Like, he doesn't ever have to bite that. So why am I putting that into his life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can go straight from Belgian arm. When I say sleeve, I mean like the Jude Chipster style sleeve. So you do Belgian arm, hidden sleeve, and in the UK what they call it covert.
yeah,
You do hidden sleeve, keep on targeting, and then you slowly just take that all away. And then now he's nothing but the man, and you get what you want to get. A dog can mess you up in prey as a part of the game. You got what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people think that the dog has to be this serious bite, crazy psycho and out of his mind. But if he thinks that tearing you up is a part of the game, he's just tearing you up. Have you ever seen a dog tear up a stuffed animal or a box? Or I could take Draco. You remember we was at? I think we were at the night trial
oh yeah,
in the thing, and I pushed the chair across
yeah,
the
yeah.
parking lot on wheels, and I was like, "Watch it!" And he just started tearing it up. Was he mad at the chair? No, he was just in prey, just tearing it up, and he could do that same thing to a person if taught. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So one of the things, like I say, to me, back in the day, the dogs, I feel like, were a little bit more genetically superior, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was learning, it was all physical because I mean we had the goods of the good. You know what I mean? It wasn't until I started to see a little bit of the decline of the dogs that I had to learn the mental aspect has to come first when you train.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because to me, once you can get through to a dog mentally, the physical, I mean, that's easy. It comes really, really natural to it. But you have to work through the dog's mind. And I always try to tell my clients, is like, how does the dog view what you're trying to train, what you're trying to teach?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how does he view it?
Right.
I don't care how you present it. If you present it in a way that he doesn't understand it, you got to change it.
Yep. The first thing I do when I feel like a dog is not responding to what I'm asking them to do is I put the dog up, step back, and I think about what have I done to cloud the communication between us, like that he doesn't understand what I'm asking him.
But again, that whole process is the mental approach. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're saying, okay, I need to step back for a second and reevaluate. That's the mental approach, right? Instead of just trying to physically push forward and mush through the quicksand, and we're gonna just we're gonna blend into this, we're gonna get it done. Well, let's take a step back and say, is it the way I'm showing it? And sometimes it might not be that. Maybe he just don't pick it up, but sometimes it's the same. So to me, I said I have a standard, right? The standard never changes, right? The message never changes, but the delivery of the message might have to, right? So we can go to, here's an example. We can go to any elementary school in America, and they all got monkey bars in the playground, right? Mm-hmm. They don't lower the monkey bars down because your kid can't get up there.
Right.
The standard is the standard. He got to find a way to get up there.
Right.
If you want to play with everybody else up there, you got to figure it out. They don't bring it down to his level.
Right. And I feel like that's what the dog community does.
Yeah.
They bring down the standard so it can be more, everybody could get a participation medal type thing.
Like, but that's what I'm saying. That's how the breeding started, right? So everybody could be involved.
Right. And then they started making titles to the lesser standard, the standard for breeding. Yeah. So like if the standard has been lowered to breed, and it's kind of like just a domino effect. You say, okay, we're gonna do XYZ, no more stick hits, no more opposition, no more picking up the dogs before, in the trial type stuff. Then you start getting into like, okay, well, I don't know what my dog's real thresholds are. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like genetically, pain tolerance is a high thing in genetics, right? I want to have that, to where my dog don't step on a pine cone,
for sure,
and come off the bite or lose complete interest in what he was doing. My dog could be, what you call that, search and rescue dog, and he go in there and get stuck by thorns. He's like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'm done. It's a lot of dogs like that, and so, that drive is important, and we breeding this watered down stuff in whatever breed it is. Whether you got Pit Bull, Malinois, German Shepherd, if the dog is not doing what he was created to do, you have a watered down product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I have a Patterdale that don't want to smash rats and varmint and stuff like that, like he don't have good hunt drive, this is what he was developed for.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's one thing. Like I don't, I keep it real with myself. I try to keep it real with the clients. Listen, if your dog doesn't have, the makeup to do the job that you want him to do, you just don't. You can't make it up as you go. You know what I mean? You can't put it there. Either he has it or he doesn't. That has nothing to do with, I hear this all the time. I said, well, I don't have a good trainer. Well, I get that. I mean, yeah, just not that. But here are some things that you can be doing in the meantime.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, are you doing those things? Right. And if you aren't,
and you have to understand that you need the right clay to make the pie.
For sure.
So you got what I'm saying? So like, you can't have too much water in your clay if you want to have a stable pot at the end. Like, you gonna have to mix that thing up right. Like, it got to be put together. It has to have all the tangible or the things that are needed to possess a working dog. I tell everybody when they first call me, the first thing I say is all dogs can be obedient.
Yeah,
but
correct.
Not all dogs can be protection dogs or working dogs or whatever.
For sure.
They just don't have the juice. Like, there's dogs that just don't have juice. This is not for them. Now, some dogs we see as real driving. We seen that earlier today. We out here at Charlie's training day. So we seen that today. There's some dogs with crazy drive, but they don't want to put harness that drive into what you want them to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want the dog to do man work. Like, there's some pit bulls that'll work excellent on the hog,
yeah,
but will not you can't get that to cross over to that.
Right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you can take a square piece and turn it out any way you want to. It ain't going in a round hole.
Fact.
Right? You can. It don't matter how many times you turn it or whatever. It's you know that's not designed to fit in there.
Right.
So that part of it is what it is.
Right. So let's switch it up one more time. We're gonna talk about these the police dogs that are failing in the selection process of in the vendor responsibility, that type of stuff. Like, let's get into that a little bit.
I think part of maybe the issue is it's like there's really no oversight to it. If you work at such and such department, you set the SOP for your department and y'all go with it. And a lot of times they may or may not reach out to more veteran departments for guidance and help. You know what I mean? They just kind of venture out on their own, and before you know it, there's good and bad in this, right? And just like anything else, sometimes they get taken. You know what I mean? And then
Rob, no pistol. That's what he's saying.
it's this whole vendor thing of, to me, sometimes you can get too big for your own good. You know what I mean? It's just
right, and you start getting that quantity over quality type of thing. So dogs start out good, and then you just start sending me a bunch of garbage. My biggest thing is because I've heard you say this a lot when we've been working together, that either you got the dog that way or you made it that way. So it's something that you did to get it like that, or you bought it. You bought a trash product. So, but at the same time, when you're searching for people, if you have somebody, you buy a dog from somebody, and they don't want to stand behind their product, like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I put a dog somewhere, I want to know how he's doing, what he's doing. Right. Did he do this? Is he messing up on the street? What's his quirks? What's his problems? Is this okay? He's not working out. Send the dog back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's how I feel. But there's a lot of this good old boy system where people are putting dogs in places, and the people know, that handler knows, and the person who put in the request to purchase the dog knows that dog is trash and can possibly get somebody killed in the street. It's not reliable at all. But however it was, the money was made, the move was made, however it was, but it's just like, okay, I'm gonna do business with my friend. At some point, I mean, you have to still have a decent product. Like, would you go to if your friend was a barber and your friend had epilepsy and kept a seizure every time he was cutting your hair, or narcolepsy or whatever, he goes off and skin your head, are you still gonna, I don't care how much of a friend he is, you don't want your head skinned. You see what I'm saying? And they skin the heads in the canine world, like, as far as just not giving them the product that they need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we go places and work with different departments, and sometimes they'll have a dog that you really question, like, I don't know about this one. Then when you ask them a little bit about the dog, then they'll say, well, this vendor gave me these 3 good dogs. Yeah, I get that, but what about this one? Yes. This one, we're not worried about.
But do you think that comes from, okay, say they had a vendor, the vendor's placing good dogs with them for years, right? And you go back and you get this one dog, it's just not working out, right?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times they either luck up with that 1 or 2 good dogs, or they send you the kind of bait and switch type of thing. They send you this one dog to get you hooked on, and then they start sending you a bunch of garbage. Or you don't have the knowledge to know what a good dog is. Like, they're not giving you, it's like the blind leading the blind. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever been somewhere, like, you're training the dog, you're doing a seminar or whatever, and then you say something basic. You say something basic that every dog handler should know.
Yeah.
And they say, what you mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right? And 100%. Then I'm like, what you talking about? This is like dog training, canine handler 101. Like, you should know that. And then I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To me, like, the biggest thing to do would be seek some help from some more successful departments first. You know what I mean? Hey, how did you guys set this up? What do you think about this? And just do your homework and do your due diligence beforehand. And I feel like you get does that mean that you're going to be 100% successful? No, but it at least put you in the right ballpark. You know what I mean?
Definitely. It'll be less mistakes. You know what I'm saying? There's not. It's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be some dogs and
Sure.
but I just have this thing. We go to a department with 9 dogs, and they all trash. Like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And then the first thing that they do when you start asking them about their training regimen and this and that, like I have literally trained with departments who never trained at nighttime.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay. Never did any live scenarios.
Yeah.
Just imagine you do like a traffic stop, and so you know how we go crazy a lot of times on like when the dog's biting us and all that.
Yeah.
I do that because I've physically seen this happen in real life. We're not trying to be zombies. You got what I'm saying? Like I've physically seen somebody get bit. The dog is on them, and he's like, "Dang, bro, getting bit," and he's still acting a fool.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I just seen a video recently where a dog bit this guy in the leg. He was whacking it with a machete. I'm talking about just going crazy, whacking it with a machete. It didn't look. I mean, yeah, the dog was biting. It was biting him, but that's real.
Yeah.
That's what the part where you need to learn. Get in there with your dog. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Use your other tools to disarm this person, or not send the dog. It's certain scenarios. You know how when we went to the UK, we did the scenario, and a couple of the guys executed what we wanted them to a T.
Yeah.
And dog didn't get a bite, so we say, "That's it. You're done.
You're good.
Carry on. You pay." So they start looking like, "Dang man, I thought I was supposed to do this, and this, and this. I thought my dog was gonna get a bite. No. Why would I attack you?
Right.
Like that's stupid.
Right.
Like, okay, we do an ATM scenario. Let's think about this, right? You do an ATM scenario. Your dog is sitting right by your side. Every move I make, he's looking at me.
Yeah.
As a criminal, or am I gonna attack this person?
Right.
First thing I'm gonna think, why is he sitting with his dog? You're not blind.
Yeah.
Why am I sitting at the ATM with the dog? Okay, that dog probably bite. That dog probably a protection dog. Okay, now it makes more sense to go to the ATM. You're not there, right? The dog's still in the car. Your window's down. The people that can't see the dog, they don't know the dog with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and then you like, "Hey, bro," and then the dog come bite. That's a difference. That's a big difference than setting these very, very, very unrealistic scenarios up. And you don't train for it. You know what I'm saying? You have to train how you need your dog to work. Whether that's law enforcement, Shih Tzu, sport, PSA, whatever it is, you have to train like that.
Right. So you brought up the UK. Like one of those good examples was like when we did the stranded motorist, right?
Right.
And we tried
the gas.
Right. And I tried to come up to Tyler when he had a dog.
He's like, "Whoa, mate, whoa, stop!"
Right, he didn't even let me get close to him.
I said, "Stop!"
Yeah. He was super like
on
forward
edge.
and and at that point, there's nothing you can do. Right? You can't advance on him. He's on you.
He's on top of you.
He played that perfectly.
All right. So we have to train. So then, in that, when you do those type of scenarios as law enforcement officer, if you don't have nobody to do that kind of stuff or have the mind to think of that kind of stuff, that's what prepares you in the street. That's why a lot of people send their dogs into dangerous situations. Like, bro, don't do that. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I was just talking to my dad the other day, and we were talking about when we used to go fishing and be around big bodies of water.
Yeah.
Before we get out there, he said, "Listen, son, don't get out there playing around that water.
Yeah.
Sit yourself down, because if you fall in there, this water, you know what I'm saying? My feet can't touch. I cannot help you. You know what I'm saying? The waves kicking up, blah, blah. It's unforgiving. You know, like it's self-correcting. Like, bro, I can't help you. So I'm letting you know this ahead of time.
Yeah, for sure.
But man, like some people think that this is just they just go through these dry scenarios, and don't know when to pull the trigger, like to let the dog go, don't know when to hold him back. If a guy got a machete, a big hatchet machete, dog, I'm talking about big. This bro walking around like Jason. I'm not about to let my dog go. You know what I'm saying?
That's a suicide mission.
I'm not letting him go. I'm not even getting.
Yeah.
And then they still shot him.
Yeah.
I think they still shot him. You should have, but now you shot the dude, killed him, and the dog's dead too.
That's suicide mission. Yeah.
I'm not letting him go. Now I don't know from the angle if he saw the dog or not. Like I can't speak. I wasn't there. Your adrenaline pumping,
sure.
stuff like that. But
just in general,
in general if I see that, if I see some massive Conan the Barbarian type of weapon, I'm not sending my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got other tools for that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but and we're there, you know what I'm saying, when we're putting these seminars on to educate you. You know what I'm saying? Not to make you feel inferior or anything like that, but this is what we do. And there's a lot of people, bro, it's like the blind leading the blind, especially when the departments say, we train our own dogs. Now, listen, I don't have a problem with that. If you have one of those people who, like, you have a dog person that, you know, did something else, and that's what they do. They work dogs, and they're leading you guys into this is how we're gonna handle this. Like, you know how we do it. You could definitely see that some of the departments, those people are leaders, and they're fully capable of leading their unit into doing everything that they need to do, and they just bringing us in for a little spark. You know what I'm saying? A little different.
So, but even at that, to me, you know, a third party, a third independent party to vet, you know, where you are currently in your program. To me, that's a no-brainer. I mean,
right?
You see that in all businesses. You know what I mean? I don't care what business it is. They, you know, eventually they'll bring a staff in to, you know, just to vet where they are in their program.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. So even that, my big thing too is with these the vendor who supplied you with the dog doing the certification. That's the biggest scam known to man. I've seen a dog, right? Imagine this. I've seen a dog that would never pass a certification on no level at all, right? The dog goes back and now it's certified. By whom? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Come on, bro. The dog don't know nothing. And then, because this is what happens when you start certifying dogs. Like, if I had a contract, right, with a department, certain department or whatever, I'm definitely going to let them certify with another
we do that
organization
every time.
You're gonna do what is it? Napwater.
Right. I'm gonna help you. You know, get your team
certification ready,
right? But I don't want any part of the certification, right?
Yeah. If your work is credible,
right,
we should be able to step on any stage and do the task that you're asking us to do. I don't have to do this in-house kind of stuff to pass my product through. Like, you know what I'm saying? It should be able to stand on its own 2 feet and speak for itself no matter what. And then even when they do these little police dog competitions or whatever, you know what I'm saying, they see the dog working, whether it be detection, apprehension, whatever, the other departments will see that. Like, oh man, who you got trained with?
Your work speaks for itself. I mean, you know, it's just my thing of, don't be afraid to vet where you are in the program. That's not a bad thing.
So how you feel about when people say, have you ever been a cop? Right? And you're like, nah. You know what I'm saying? But and then they're like, how you train?
Well, I could say, have you ever trained a dog?
Same. That's exactly what I said. So, yeah, being a cop and being a cop with a dog is totally different. Like, there's a big difference between. So I don't care what he's biting, what he's apprehending, or whatever. It's still, we're getting into the dog. I don't want to get into your procedures or how to engage people and this, that, and the other. And, you know, that's something that you guys can handle. But when we talk about the dogs, stress level, what they understand, what they can and can't do, you need to bring a dog person. You need to have a dog person for that. Somebody who just do dogs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure. You know, I agree with that 100%. Because again, you're coming at it from just different angles. You got law enforcement coming at it from a SOP and handler standpoint, and we coming at it from a trainer standpoint and dog transport. Because again, what's wrong with betting where you are? Either if you're in good shape, great. If you're not, here's a plan to get you where you need to be.
Right.
It's pretty simple to me, and I just don't understand the whole cloak of secrecy. In-house. I want to keep everything in-house. I mean, again, you're right. It's your department.
Right.
But at the end of the day, everything else gets vetted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As an officer, right? You go to the range. You got to qualify the range, correct?
Right.
I'm sure you have somebody running the range.
Yeah. Range schedule. Yeah.
Right. So you don't govern, pass or fail yourself at the range.
Right.
You have somebody else vetted to do that.
Right. And that there needs to be. I don't think that you should be able to do that, but I don't think that all states have to.
They don't.
certify.
Everybody does something different.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead.
Yeah, every state is a little different. Sometimes even counties can be different,
Right.
So you just what I try to do is just, when I get contracted, I just try to work within what they have and then maximize, the teams that they have. We try to take them to levels that they didn't think they could reach.
Okay.
If it's something that they're already currently doing and it's successful, that's great. We don't need to tap into that. We need to work on the things that you're not well suited for.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to mentally put them into situations that maybe they haven't been in yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's training. I get it, but we train at a level that's pretty intense.
Right. They should have a checklist, bro. What things that dogs need to know, stuff that people, even if it's not on a dog.
Create the checklist. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. No, I get what you're saying, but I mean, I feel like there needs to be some
I agree
governing body, some kind of a standard for what's what. There is the certifying people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your dog bites somebody unlawfully or does something, they want to see your training logs. They want to see all that, who's doing what, blah, blah. Even if it's in-house, somebody made those rules. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
somebody made those, hey, we have to log, because everybody does it. We have to log our training. We have to, if he's on dope, we have to weigh it and see how much this was, what kind of environment was this, that, that. So you've known, has the dog been trained on this? It was a training error. Is it an error on the street? Procedural cases where case laws where they're getting people off because of the mishandling of the dog and, people making their dog false indicated and all kinds of stuff.
But again, how much of that could be nipped in the bud during the training phases?
Depending on who's training the dog.
Right, I get that. But I'm saying, if you have a third party, they have no stake in whether you pass or fail. You know what I'm saying?
It should be almost like a home inspection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just say I go out to buy a dog, right? I should be able to meet you at such and such place, and schedule an appointment for the inspector.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And at minimum, this dog is here. We're selecting a dog. We say, hey, man, I'm selecting this dog. This is not a as is by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm selecting this dog to do a purpose work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either is narcotics apprehension or, you know what I'm saying, whatever. That governing body should be able to say, okay, there should be some sort of test, and it shouldn't be all on the vendor, because not a vendor, but the consumer, like the department that's buying a dog or whoever.
Right.
Should be all on them. You should be able to bring that to somebody.
Yeah.
To do that for you. There should be some kind of small fee, and you pay that, and then we go through these tests.
Yeah. I get it.
and then your dogs get it. But when you get these green dogs that you're building up on your own,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a big loss. You might as well go to Harris Casino and
that's rough. I mean, it's to me it's definitely a gamble to try to do it that way. Because
expensive game on some people's parts. They're paying 12 to 20, 25,000 for a
right,
dog.
but here's my thing. With that type of thing, a handler is not a trainer.
At all. At all. Some of these
So
people, now listen, imagine this. If I came into the dog world, right? I came into the dog game, and the first time I ever worked a dog was 6 months ago. The first time I ever handled a
right,
dog, the
right.
first time I ever trained. Am I capable of training another person's dog?
Of course not.
Okay.
You know enough to be dangerous.
So, with that being said, that's what they do.
Oh, I understand completely.
Like, bro, and then you get to talking to them, they swear that they know everything about the, like, bro, I'm been into dogs, like I said, to the biting part since 2005, 2006, and I'm still learning.
Daily, I learn
Right?
something
I'm
every day.
still learning. For you to come in the game, I'm not talking about you got your dog heeling or down or sitting or spinning
Right.
around or speaking on command or whatever.
Right.
I'm talking about, knowing the dog in and out,
Yeah.
what it needs to do and what is too much on this end, not enough on this end, making everything balanced. I'm still trying to put all those pieces together.
For
I
sure.
kind of have an idea where I can get it where I need to get it, but
I mean, I think we all do. We both do. But for me, like I said, I still learn. Like I'll see something. I'll see some. Even if it's something not to do, that's
Mhm.
still learning. You know what I mean?
right.
So I'm forever a student. Because the more I learn, and the more I can decipher in a positive manner, it's just better for my class.
Right.
Right. So as soon as you feel like you know it all, you go
Right.
downhill to me.
You have to have that mindset. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I was we went to this little cabin we rented. I think my brother was at Fort Rucker, right? So we started the grill. It wasn't the fire. Just I'm starting the fire for the grill, right? So I'm just trying to get the fire started. Just went started, put paper on it. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Them coals wouldn't catch. So I'm like, man, y'all got some lighter fluid? They're like, nah. I'm like, man, I put a little gas on it. I'm talking about not a lot, just a little bit of gas. And then I sprinkle the gas when we go in and out, right?
Yeah.
So I light it again. It start it starts it starts dwindling down.
Yeah.
I walk up to it. And I'm gonna go. I don't know if it's a spray bottle or squirt.
Yeah.
I put in something like a squirt. But I walk up to it and I just tilt it to squirt it, and the fire just whoosh. And I'm talking about set the whole canister. Oh no, don't laugh too hard. Set the whole canister on fire. The canister started melting in my hand. I'm talking about this all happening quick. The plastic to the canister is melting. Get on my shoes and my pants. I take off my pants. I'm my drawers now. My drawers, no shoes. I kicked them shoes off so fast. I'm my drawers. I just start running. I'm like, boy, I need to get it up in this lake. They had a lake. It was like about a 70-meter dash to the water. I'm like, man, I'm gonna just have to go in there. With that being said, I didn't get burnt. I'm safe, and I now know how the fume. It doesn't have to be the actual liquid, tangible
Yeah.
fire that gets
Sure.
that close, bro. You could be 4 feet away,
Yeah.
and just the fumes of it sitting and stuff like that can get you. Now, with that being said, I have never used gas setting a fire again. Do you got what I'm saying? Never.
That's a safety message for today.
Yeah. Listen, you don't have to start your fire with You don't have to start your fire with doggone gasoline. You can get some diesel. You can get a starter block. You can get some lighter fluid. I educated myself. You feel me?
That's a learning.
So yeah, we back. We had a little technical difficulties with the camera, but like I was saying, don't set yourself on fire. Get some stuff without the fumes. Man, that really just having that experience though. I'm just talking about experience. That made me start researching
Yeah.
how the fire, what catches on fire, how much fumes is needed, how much is until it's combustible. You know what I'm saying? All kind of stuff. I'm just like, dang man, I almost killed my damn self. But everything is a learning experience. It don't have to be positive
Yeah,
stuff going on for you to learn. You know what I'm saying?
that's what I said. Even if it's something you learn not to do,
Right.
still learn.
And you definitely learn. And I could see somebody else do something, and I'd be like,
Oh,
boy.
listen, that growing up as a kid, I was
Mhm.
the baby in my family, and that's how I learned. Right? I
Uh-huh.
learned. I could see my older brothers and sisters do something, and it didn't work out. Like
Mhm.
they don't need to be doing that.
You ain't
know
gotta
what
be
I'm
no
saying?
crash dummy. Like you don't have to be a crash dummy. You don't have to experience uh the downfall to. Now we did all that talking again for nothing. So yeah, no, we back in action. We was talking about not being a crash dummy, not getting into things that look dangerous, that were dangerous for other people, had results, negative results in other people's lives, and we just basically learning from other people's mistakes. We're taking what we need, applying it, and throwing away, stuff that's not applicable to our lives or our situation. So, anyway, with that being said, I was saying that we came to South Carolina today, get a little bit of training in to do this podcast, chill, talk a little bit, man. Tell everybody where they can get you on, your social media, your contact information,
Yeah, we on Facebook at Homeland Canine or my personal Facebook page, Charlie Randolph, and then we got a website, www.hk9international.com. Check out our website. So if you see, if you go to my personal page, you'll probably see me post a lot of memes and stuff because that's just a chance for me to woosah,
express yourself a little bit, get loose a little.
Right, it can't all be work. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, listen, to be honest with you, until I started working with this guy, I did not know pretty much like how his voice was in conversation. Like you hear him say something, it was a man of few words. So I was like, man, this dude, he don't talk a lot. He just sitting down, squinting his eyes, like he having a hard time looking. But I'm like, man, he don't talk much. Then when we kind of settled in, got to know each other a little bit, then kind of opened up, and then I started seeing him at the seminars, and then he becomes like the Gandhi of, you know what I'm saying? Like
my
all
thing
these
is that I don't really know how to do a lot of things besides dogs and shit.
Right.
So I'm not really comfortable talking about things I don't know nothing about. So I'll just be listening to other people,
Right.
about whatever it is. I don't know how to fix a car, carpentry, plumbing. I can't do any of that.
See, look, you can't do nothing around us. Now, listen, you see us recording, right? Hey, we live. Listen, you can't do nothing around us. Listen, they get out of hand. You give them an inch, they take them out. This is the same person that was just about to set us on fire with brake fluid on the battery terminals. If y'all ever heard that, listen, I want somebody to tell me if they ever heard of people putting brake fluid on battery terminals to clean off. Brake cleaner. Look, brake cleaner on the battery terminals to clean off the corrosion. I've never seen that before.
We're more than dog trainers, guys.
Come on, man, get that dog, man. But yeah, like we were saying, man, we had to calm that down real quick. But yeah, man, reach this man. Like he said on all his training stuff. Let's talk about what we got coming up real quick. In March 19th is the throwdown. He will be guest vehicle on at the throwdown. It's gonna be a live event. It's a lot of heavy hitting dogs this year. It's probably gonna be the best event, working dog event.
I look forward to being able to help you with that every year, man. I really have a good time down there with that.
I'm getting the chills. Just think about who. I'm gonna just give you a little briefness. I don't want y'all to pull out, okay? Don't pull out because y'all scared of dogs that's coming, okay? So, dude from Alabama, he signed up with a bunch of dogs. I don't even know who he is. The Misfit crew.
Yeah,
they got their crew coming down. If I don't know, I think what's the dude named Damon? I think Damon coming with Zero.
Okay,
so,
all right.
I don't know what kind of control he got, but they banging. That whole junk is banging. I think that Sandy and Finn and them coming up from Florida hitting. So that's like all dogs that's just
so let's
taking your arm off.
So even we're gonna have a great time at the throwdown. but don't run away. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times I will get to see some of them. Let's hang out afterwards too. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So what he's saying is, okay, and then this is another thing. My family is always, the super supportive. So we can go out and kick it, man. Have a nice time after the event is over. Chill.
Sure.
If I'm not mistaken, they're probably gonna have a fight or something.
I think it is.
I'm not sure. I have to go check. March 19th, we'll check that out. But aside from that, yes, the throwdown coming up is gonna be major. Let me see that. Hand me one of those slides right here. So, gonna be major. Big, listen. If y'all haven't seen, let me see. Can we focus? Can we get some focus on that? Boom. March 19th, the throwdown. That's the address. Show up. Be there. Be square. And after that, we have this man's events. This is one of the better, the only one of its kind. It's super original. Right here in this field, we in Townville, South Carolina, right outside of Anderson. It's not too far from Atlanta. We're gonna be up here with our crew. I don't know what dogs we putting in, but it's gonna be exciting. I'll be decoying the same way he helps me out with his event.
Yeah,
I mean my event. He help him out with his event.
Can't wait.
Talk a little bit about what that entails in that.
So it's the Iron Will is it combines obedience, agility, and controlled aggression like all rolled into one. None of it's separate, right? So it's we got all these
endurance.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? Because people ask me about that all the time. Say, oh, why do we gotta have that? Well, think about it. We do activities with our dogs all the time.
Right.
I hear my clients say, hey, this weekend I'm going up in the mountains. I'm gonna hike with my dog. So you go hiking and you work. You have a good time all day with the dog. Get back to your car, and lo and behold, somebody tries to do something to you. So do you and your dog function the same because you're tired?
Yeah.
How does that work out?
Yes, definitely.
You can't.
I can relate.
You can't check out because you're tired.
I can definitely relate. So there's this thing called a Shark Tank that they do to you in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Where they put a fresh man on you every minute or every 2 minutes. Once you start, as much as I've learned over this time that I've been doing jiu-jitsu, all of that starts getting thrown out the window when fatigue starts setting in. You start thinking back to square one, and you're just trying to basically survive and not applying any of the stuff that you learned. So that's where this competition is super good, and for people who really need their dogs in real life. Like, so if you come out here, man, and sign up, you'll do the endurance stuff with your dogs. A lot of the things you'll have to do with your dog. Your dog is not gonna only have to. I don't want to give too much away, but just like some of the people who've already been, they know.
Yeah. Sure.
When we shoot, when somebody shoots at you, you shoot back and still using your dog. Like, so there's times where the dog's receiving gunfire from both ends. Super exciting, man. Like something that you just don't want to miss. Something that you really want to be a part of, even if you're just a spectator. You don't have a dog on that level that's ready yet for that.
So this is our first year where we have the throwdown before Iron Will.
First
Usually
year
was after, right?
And I did that only because it was so good last year. COVID kind of threw everything in the loop.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty biblical. All things work together for the good for him that love God. So we kind of learned a little bit through that situation. Like, we had a bunch of times where in May we was having it like middle May, end of May. We all about to die out there. Decoys, judges. I was 3 shades darker than what I am now. So it was just a lot of stress on everybody involved. So
even though that's typically, calendar wise the spring, man, you're talking mid to end of May, it starts to get hot.
Oh yeah, we're talking 100 degrees, 90 something. We had to have a pool at the end of every biting scenario. Dogs is super gas. It was just.
I'm definitely excited for you to have it. This year in March, so we get the jump off. You know what I'm saying? The throwdown is the jump off for the season. You know what I mean? For everybody,
especially for what we do. Yes, is the kickoff, and then after that's over, I plan on really hitting this PSA world and bringing my team. Like, we just came from Florida. Brought $7 down. I think 4 or 5 of us passed. and we've only been into the sport for 8 months. So I really feel like we're going in the right direction. We don't know a whole lot about it yet, but dog training is dog training. At the end of the day, we learn how to communicate with the dog. We know how to apply that, and we'll learn some things that we don't know as we go. But like I said, we sit back and observe. And I advise a lot of people to do this. If you're going to compete in any venue, whether that's with us, Charlie's event, PSA, Schützen, I advise you to go and sit down and watch those things as a spectator without your dog, a few times before you get involved in that. And then you'll have a better perspective. Listen to the critiques, listen to the scoring, the way things are going. It's all things that are going to help you develop as a handler.
So yeah, we definitely super excited about it. Like I said, this is the 9th throwdown.
In 10 years, we had to cancel because COVID, but yes, bro.
Right, and this will be the 10th Iron Will. So
yeah,
that's.
Yeah, you didn't cancel. You didn't cancel on that.
I just pushed it back a few months. It's October that year.
Yeah, and then you came right back into another one in April.
Yeah, we just doubled it back up. But yeah, I'm personally excited to be part of your, it's something, throwdown is something you created. So any way I can help with that, or, I'm just excited to be part of it. You know what I mean? So I can't wait. It's probably going to be
pull up on
tons of dogs out there. I can't wait. I'll be posted up in my old man position, and I'll be
in the cage,
ready.
Coverage test level 2. That's Charlie Station. So bring your dog. Hopefully he could stay into the fight and survive.
Yeah.
And then my boy Mark is gonna be on that surprise attack. So just be ready. Y'all train up, get ready, man. And it was nice having you today on Dog Days podcast. And hopefully we'll be able to get together again. We'll wrap after both of these competitions is up, and we'll do it again, bro.
For sure.
Till next time. See y'all. Peace.